Hi everyone, it's Kristen. so, um, Dazzler was sleeping, but my whole setup all of a sudden just fell over. I'm glad nothing broke because I just literally bought this. I was trying to use like different little lights and a different phone stand, and then I bought just an all-in-one thing, and yeah, it scared her because she's a scaredy cat, poor kitty, and so now she's awake. She's huddled over in her tray, but she's not sleeping. She's just looking at me all wide eyed, like, holy cow, what was that? Why'd you do that? so, poor kitty. Like I said, she's kind of a scaredy cat, and yeah. She can't help it though. Right, kitty? Yeah, I know. Poor kitty. Okay, so it's Wednesday. You know what that means. There's a new stat card, so yay, I love the stat cards. They're so fun. I think it's because you always have. I mean, comic book fans always do this. They're always like, who would win in a fight between, this character and this character? But the problem with that is that you don't have an even scale for those characters because someone could pull like, oh well, Hulk would definitely win, because of this, and then someone else could pull, well, Thor would definitely win because of this, but those are two different eras, or it could be different writers writing them. So you don't really have like a set, like, even scale that everyone is judged on. So that's why I like these stat cards because they are all, judged accordingly, and they're all on the same scale. So anyway, that's why I like them because that gives you a better idea because it is, like I said, an even playing field. It's not depending on a different era. It's not depending on a different writer. It's just one like universal, so to speak, scale. Granted, of course, I'm sure that this will change, and I'm sure that there's some that would argue that, oh no, that's not right. Like that's not how strong he is according to this. But like I said, it's an even kind of playing field, so to speak. So I like it because you can actually compare, oh, well, this guy is this and this guy is this, according to this scale. So anyway, for Monday we have the Destroyer, and powers, weapons, and forged from an unknown Asgardian metal and enchanted by Odin. The Destroyer is a virtually indestructible suit of armor that must be bound to the life force of a living entity in order to be used. It's interesting that the Destroyer armor was actually a herald for Galactus at one point because Thor, um, well, Fire Lord didn't want to be a herald anymore of Galactus. Have you noticed that most heralds of Galactus do not want to be heralds of Galactus? Most of them try to get out of it, and yeah. So anyway, Firelord did not want to be one anymore, and so Thor's like, hey, if you let Firelord go, I will give you the Destroyer to use as a herald instead. So, and Galactus, he took that deal. I mean, granted, the Destroyer wasn't like a long time herald of Galactus, but he was a herald of Galactus, just like Dazzler was a kind of, well, okay, technically I guess she wasn't a herald of Galactus, but she was imbued with, powers cosmic, because I guess in the sense she was a herald in that she was, like his servant at a point, but she didn't actually go out and find him any planets to eat or consume. It was in that, arc of Dazzler in her original series where Galactus used her to find his old herald, Terrax, who was hiding in a black hole. And of course, Dazzler converts sound into light, so he thought she was the best one for this task. Anyway, I reviewed those videos on my channel, but anyway, I think that's pretty cool that she was a herald, so to speak, of Galactus. So Oh, it surpasses the strength of even the mightiest Norse gods and can shatter seemingly invincible substances such as adamantium. Its ultimate weapon is the disintegrator beam, a devastating blast of energy said to be capable of annihilating anything. So, and Tuesday is Black Knight, which I always enjoy stories about him because, like, I love the whole his whole mythos, you know, that of King Arthur and Excalibur and Merlin, and how the Black Knight, his you know, mythology also started during that time. And so this Black Knight has been passed down like from generation to generation to generation, which I think is pretty cool. And plus, I mean, he has a flying horse. Like, who doesn't want a flying horse? Like, that's the reason I like She-Ra, is because she has Swiftwind, a flying horse. I mean, like I said, who doesn't want a flying horse? Let's see. And okay, so Wednesday, today, the stat card. So it's Wasp. I feel like I keep putting it over here, and it's supposed to be over here. I think because I'm so used to it being over here, like I said, it fell down and I had to reset it back up. Oh, and Dazzler, she's now asleep. She's like, okay, the noise and the scariness has passed. So anyway, Wasp, Janet Van Dyne, occupation socialite. Like I said, I think it would be fun for her to have her own like comic about. Okay, like you guys saw that, right? The light totally turned off. Oh, I guess the fall affected it more than I thought. I hope it didn't break because I don't want to have to buy a new one already. I just bought this one. Anyway, so occupation socialite. Like I said, I think it'd be fun for her to have her own like comic where it talks about that aspect of her life more than just like her early life. I will say, you know, just her being like a superhero. Like I like the whole fact that she has a business as a fashion designer, and she was a reality TV host for that during the Civil War. That Who Wants to Be a Superhero, like show. I mean, I think that's kind of, you know, fun. It kind of ties more into like our real world stuff, so to speak. I like stories like that where, you know, some of my favorite stories are where the X-Men are just doing kind of normal things. Like the Uncanny X-Men 244 is where, you know, the X-Women go shopping, and that's first appearance of Jubilee as well. And then where they're playing baseball, those are some of my favorite issues as well. And the Uncanny X-Men 230, where the X-Men play Santa Claus. Like some of the, and Uncanny X-Men 365, I think it's 365, where Colossus draws all those pictures, and Marrow, you know, she writes the story to the pictures. It's like a Christmas story. I just love those issues where they're just kind of doing normal stuff. I think that's, you know, fun to see every so often. Anyway, height 5'4", weight 110 pounds. First appearance, Tales to Astonish, number 44, June of 63. Intelligence 2, so, you know, normal intelligence. Strength 2, normal. Strength. Speed 3, okay. Durability 2. Energy 4. Skills 3. Okay. I honestly didn't know who to compare her to because I just didn't know who to compare her to, honestly. I mean, like, if you compare her to Ant-Man, I feel like that's not fair because, like, his intelligence is 7, obviously, Hank Pym. Strength 2, speed 2, durability 2. Okay, so she's a little bit faster than him. I guess that makes sense. If you're smaller, you could move faster, maybe. Energy, he has 5, she has 4. Skills 3, and her skills are also 3. So that's the comparison between the two. So, and then we have actually a new stamp in this. Like I said, I'm so used to it being here, like in the middle, but I think I moved it over a little bit when I set it back up. So we have a new stamp, and it is actually Like I said, oh my gosh, this is gonna take getting used to because it was set up perfectly and now I'm off. Like, did you guys ever see? You probably didn't, but did you guys ever see that episode of Full House where DJ and Stephanie like put a hole in the wall, and they tried to cover it up, and and then they decided we can't fix it, so they moved everything just a little bit, to cover up the hole in the wall, and then when Danny came in and like hung up his coat, he was off, and he couldn't understand why. That's how I feel. Like, I feel like I shouldn't be off, but I am. So that's the new image. You get, you find these 10 stamps to make this image. And again, you don't know what the image is supposed to be. You don't know what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to get the 10 images to form, it's a puzzle. You're getting the 10 pieces to form the image. So, and this is where they got it from the Mighty World of Marvel annual 175, the year, published in the UK. Oh, that's cool. By World Distributors, art by Unknown. Hulk's face comes from the back cover of the annual and is by Herb Timpey. I probably did not pronounce that right. Trempe. So, what they did, dang it, is they took this image, or this is the final image, and what they used is they used the art from the Marvel Annual, published in the UK, and then they used the face from a different, so they spliced these two images together in order to create the one image. So basically they used mostly this from the UK, and then they used the face of this image instead of this one. So, and then for today, the first stamp is from Defenders number 35, May of 76, and all you see in this first stamp is just the Incredible Hulk. Like, so you have no idea what it looks like, you just have the Incredible Hulk, and that's it. So, well, that was exciting, I guess. The lights went out, they flickered, and then, yeah, I mean, even though I have the lights on and the curtain open, you can see, like, when this light went off, how dark it is. Like, you couldn't even really see me, honestly. So I can understand why people have these light things, when they're filming, because, yeah, you couldn't even see me. Even though it is light outside and the curtains are open and I have the lights on in the house, so just crazy how that works. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you will join me in the future for more videos, and maybe at some point Dazzler will decide that she's going to join us again. So until next time, bye.